Hello and welcome to today's live lesson. I hope everyone is doing well, and today I have not had any technical issues, which is why I can say I'm on time. Okay, let me just share the video because it's always good to share these things, and we'll wait a little bit for more of you to join, and then we can start the lesson. Let me know who's watching. And yes, one moment. Here we go. So today we're going to be looking at something called participle clauses, which we will discover what participle clauses are. They can be a little bit difficult, I'm not going to lie, but I think once you understand why we use them and how to use them, they will make a lot of sense, and they can be very useful. I should say that we use participle clauses usually more when it comes to writing rather than speaking. We can use them when speaking, obviously, but they can become very helpful when writing. But I won't go into it just yet. I'll wait for more people to join. Irina says hello. Hello, Irina. Good afternoon. Welcome to the live lesson today. I hope you're doing well. It's a nice day today. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's sunny. Alejandra says hello. Hello, Alejandra. Welcome to today's live lesson. I would say, now when you go outside, it certainly feels a little bit more back to normal. Stefano says, hello, dear teacher. Hello, Stefano. Welcome to today's lesson. So I think it's beginning to feel a little bit more back to normal. I need to go swimming, though. I think that's the real thing. It's now summer, and Malta is a great place to go swimming. The sea is quite safe. The only thing is, be careful where you do swim, and it's not because of sea life. It's more to do with how strong some underwater currents are. Like at Golden Bay, it's a great place, but you have to be careful. There are some strong water currents that you need to know where they are. But generally speaking, Malta is quite a safe place to swim, which is great. And the sea so far looks pretty clean, which is also great. Okay, so we're a decent number, so I will begin. So today's lesson, participle clauses. Participle clauses. What do we need to know? First of all, we can use participle clauses to... Sandra says, hi, Richard. Hi, Sandra. Leondina says hi. Hello, Leondina. Now, I know we've got mixed levels here, so I'm going to go through this very carefully, and I'm going to explain this in a way that I hope most of you will understand. First of all, when we talk about a participle clause, okay, first we just need to know what we mean by the participle. Okay. Participle. First of all, it might mean we need to use the past participle. This means we need to know our past verbs. Okay, so I am now just going to see if you guys can put some past verbs up for me, so I know that you guys know the past participle of some verbs, and you can choose whatever verb you like. Just remember, this has to be the third form of the verb, okay? So if it's catch, it has to be caught. If it's buy, it has to be bought, okay? So that is an important thing to know. So first, we'll just make sure that we all know what we are talking about a past participle. So remember, it needs to be the third form. Let me know. I would like you guys to give me some of your own examples. Obviously, if it's a regular verb, it's a little bit easier because if it's a regular verb, it's just going to be ed on the end. But it's important to know your past participle verbs. So that's the first thing that we need to make sure we know. And then we'll begin to look at some examples as well. If I come out with any new words, or maybe difficult words, I will make sure I take a bit of time just to explain what the words are as well. So Sandra says drive, driven. Excellent. Yes, driven would be the past participle of drive. Okay, yes, because it's the third form. Leondina says see and seen. Good. Seen is the third form. It is the past participle of the verb see. Very good. Can we have one more? Can we have one more example of a past participle verb? A third form of verb. For instance, let's see if any of you. Oh, right. Okay, you guys were faster than I could type. So Alejandra says think, thought. Well done. Leondina says eat, eaten. Good. Forbid, forbidden. Well done, Stefano. Ian. Do you mean then? If I don't know about Ian, Ian to me sounds like is usually I think of Ian as a name. Rather than a verb. I'm not sure what you mean there. Feel free to type again. Maybe I misunderstood you. Ah, I read it. Sorry, I see what you've done. Okay, my mistake. Okay, I read it as Ian for some reason. But okay, I see why I misread it as Ian. Apologies. Lion. Okay, yes. Apologies, Stefano. My mistake. I completely misread the word. I saw the first one and I just thought it was an I for some reason, and that just threw me straight away, and I just said Ian as the name. But yes, Stefano, lion, good, nice one. Okay. Right, yes, so we've got excellent. We've got some past participles there. Now, let's think of what we mean by a present participle. Present participle. Now, this is not something you might have learned if you are of a lower level, but just to explain, a present participle is when you take a verb and you add ing. And that's all you need to know. It's just the ing version of the verb, such as speaking or studying. Okay. So that's what we mean by a present participle. We're talking about a verb with ing. So if we take some of your examples, it would be seeing, thinking, eating, lying, lying or laying, depending, and forbidding as well. So you've got some of these examples. That's all it is. It's just an ing form. So when would we use the difference? First of all, we use the past participle when we are going to be speaking in a passive voice. And we use the present participle when we are speaking in an active voice. So that's an important thing. So before we go into anything else, the first thing I want you guys to know is I just want to make sure you guys, all of you, know what I mean by a passive voice before moving on. So for instance, Nokia make phones. This would be an active voice. If I wrote it as these phones are made by Nokia, then this would be a passive voice. Now, what I would like you guys to do is please try and maybe give me an example of your own, so I can see that all of you know what we mean by a passive voice. So here's an example. Don't forget, when you create a passive, a normal passive voice, you're going to have your verb to be, okay, like are, for example, plus your past participle, which might be something like made. Okay, so even though you're writing a present simple, you can use the past form. So that is what we mean by a passive voice. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to give you a task. Okay, can you guys make this into a passive voice? Okay. Let's go with let me think of a good one. Let's just go with that. John wins the election. That's an active voice. Can you guys change this for me? Can you guys try and make this into a passive voice for me? Have a go. How can we turn this into a passive? What do we need to do? So John wins the election. If we're going to change this into a passive, the election is probably going to have to come at the start of our sentence. John will have to come at the end of the sentence. So then we're going to have the election. Okay, so the elections are won by John. Yes, that is one example of how you could create the elections. I mean, depending, you could go with the elections were won by John. The elections are won by John. The elections was win by John. Close, Alejandra. The past participle of win is won. That's the only thing. Okay, but I can see that you guys know what you're supposed to do, which is excellent. Right. Now that we can see what we are doing, let's now look at the next thing, okay? We're going to start off by looking at let's start off by looking at this, okay? Okay, so we've got lots of different ways of looking at this. Okay, I think the first way that we're going to look at this is Yep, I think I'll go with this nice little example here. Okay, so this is just a standard. This is a standard. This is a standard clause, a participle clause. Okay, we have something like having lived through difficult times together, they were very close friends. What are we doing here? Well, we're kind of shortening a relative clause. But what we will see here is we're starting off the sentence with our verb having. Having lived. Okay, so here we can see that the tense is talking about a past time. Okay, so having lived through difficult times together. They were very close friends. So what do we have? A good way of looking at this is that in this case, we're using the verb ing and a past verb. Okay, so again, we could say, let's change this to they were very close. So again, we could have an example. Having traveled together, they were very close. Here, all we need to do is we need to use the word like having plus your past participle verb, and then you have your participle clause. So the way it works is if you want to write in the past, okay, so we're going to write in the past, you have your participle clause plus a past simple. The way to make the participle clause here is maybe a verb like plus ing. I would say go for quite generic verbs here, like having, for example, plus your past participle verb. Okay. So let's have a little go. I'm going to write another example, and let's see what you guys come out with. Okay. So okay, guys, what do you think this reads? So we got having, see him with her, she, to leave him. So what do you think? So we've got the verb see and decide, and what we need to do is we need to think of what the past participle is of see, which I know some of you know, and decide. So Alejandro, well done, really quick there, seen and decided. Perfect, well done. And that is the answer, yes. So this is seen, decided, well done, Leontina. So this is quite good. This would be useful when writing a story. So the question might be, so what happened? Maybe the question was, for instance, what happened? Well, having seen him with her, she decided to leave him. And there we go. That would be that's a participle clause. It's talking about the past and it explains things quite nicely. Let's do another one. Let's see if we can continue this. Okay, let's try this one. This time you need to think of the next thing. Okay, so let's see what you guys come out with here. You've got have, leave, and the verb to be. you need to decide if this is going to be, if the sentence is in the past or if it's in the present. Think very carefully about the context. We're telling a story in some ways, so let's have a little think, and we'll see what you guys come out with. So something, have, plus leave, work late. By the time he got home, his children. Okay, so Alejandro, again, the first one, having left work late. By the time he got home, his children were asleep. Well done, Alejandro. Yes, Alejandro is correct. That is indeed the correct answer. Well done, guys. Brilliant. So what we have looked at here is we've looked at creating a Stefano. Excellent. Well done, Stefano. Same answer as well. Brilliant. Superb. So what we've looked at here is we've looked at how we can create a participle clause to talk about a past event using the combination of having plus a past participle. Again, that's an important one here. Now I'm going to introduce you to a slightly different one. Well done, Leodina. Perfect. Excellent. Now, let's now look at the different ways that we can write what we would describe as more of a present participle clause. There are some things that we're going to see here that, well, we'll see, okay? So let's have a little look. So again, we've started with knowing. So we've started with the verb ing. But then the actual context of the sentence, though, if you see, knowing she loved reading, Richard bought her a book. You can see that the rest of the verbs are actually in the past. But as is the case, this technically falls under what we would call a present participle clause. For the reason I said at the beginning, even though that we might be writing about the past, if you start your sentence with the verb ing form, that's usually the structure we would have when writing a present participle clause. Now, the important thing is here, what is this saying? In simple English, he bought her a book because he knows she likes reading. That's what the sentence really means. He bought her a book because he knows she likes reading. That's what this sentence means. But when telling a story, sometimes it makes a little bit more sense to go with this form. So again, we need to start off with our verb ing plus maybe the pronoun then, in this case, loved. So let's try and make our own sentences, okay? So let's see if you guys can do this. Stefano says, Being my birthday, I bought myself a new pair of sneakers. Being my birthday, I bought myself a new pair of sneakers. Yes, Stefano. I mean, brilliant. Perfect. Well done, Stefano. That is a perfect example. Really good. Okay, guys, let's try this one here. So knowing he hate basketball, he choose not to take him to the game. You can see here, by the way, guys, before we go into the past simple, we always have this comma, and this is very normal. It doesn't matter if you're writing a relative clause, if you're writing a participle clause, we're always going to break things up with a comma. But let's see what you guys come out with here. I've just realized I need to plug in my laptop. So you need to think of the past of hate, and you need to think of the past of choose. Alejandra, again, coming in number one over here with hated and chosen. Well done, Alejandra. Excellent stuff. Okay, and good. Yes, my laptop is not going to die. Excellent. Well done, Alejandra. Hated and chosen. That is very good. Okay. Sandra as well. Hated and chosen. Very good. Well done. I'll give you some time at the end to try and create your own versions of your own sentences, because I know that filling in the blanks can be a little bit easier than actually trying to write it yourself. But what is great here is that you guys are showing that you understand the context and what you need to do. And that's always the first and most important stage of being able to do this. Well done, guys. Okay, let's go with a different one. Okay, Stefano, why chosen? Because we're mixing because we're talking about, in this case, it's, so let's see, knowing he hated basketball, we can't say he choose not to take. Has to be chosen not to take. He chose, oh, I see what you mean. Why not chosen? Oh, I see. Wait a minute. Oh, I didn't realize oh, right. I thought you had written the same thing. Knowing he hated basketball, he chose not to take him to the game. Actually, sorry, my mistake. Sorry, I do apologize. No, the second part is chose, not chosen, because the second part needs to be a past simple. Sorry, sorry. Hands up there for me. Apologies. I meant chose, not chosen. That would be going against the rule. So guys, don't forget, if we go back, I missed it completely. So don't forget, guys, you're writing the present participle clause, comma, plus past simple. So the past simple version of choose is chose, not chosen. So my mistake. I do apologize, because I told you guys you had got it right. No, it's chose, not choose. Sorry, it's chose, not chosen, when it comes to the past simple part. Don't forget, the second part of the sentence is past simple. We have to be very careful. You would only use a past participle if it's a passive, if the second part is a passive. That's an important thing. However, I need to read I need to read more carefully. So, seeing he loved her, he didn't try and stop him. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Alejandra. Alejandra, that definitely is right. And I know that is right because I've now read it very carefully. So thank you very much. Sandra, Stefano, great. Yes, absolutely. Well done. Okay, good, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to try, and I'm not going to complete the sentence. This time you guys need to complete the sentence, and I'm just going to tell you the verbs you need. So now you need to complete the rest of the sentence. Okay, let's see how you guys do. You've got the most important verbs here. You need to think about knowing and liked. And actually, let me rewrite that again because I want to change one thing. I'm just going to put the verbs in the present, not necessarily the past. You guys need to decide which verbs, if any, need to be changed into the past. You've got the first part, knowing, he. Then you've got to think about the verb like, her. Then you need to think of where the comma goes, she, and then speak. So in this case, the answer would be knowing he liked her, she spoke to him. So that's what the answer would be. That's how this activity works. So we're going to go and let's see if you guys can try and rewrite or write the sentence. Okay, so okay, I'm going to leave you guys to finish off this little story. You've got knowing, he, love. I think we're missing something there, Richard. Yes, you are missing a very important thing there. Otherwise, it's not going to make sense for them. So let's see what you guys write. Knowing, he, love, her, she, tell. So we've got knowing. We know the sentence is going to start off with knowing. You need to think about love, whether it needs to be in the past form. You then need to think of after her. You then need to think of if you need the comma, where do you need to put the comma? And then you need to think about the verb tell. Does it need to be in the past? And it's up to you how you end the sentence. So this activity is a bit more difficult. You need to try and complete the actual sentence. Remember, guys, you've got your present participle clause. The second part of this should be past simple. And you only, let's leave it like that for now, so we don't overcomplicate anything. And that's very important. So let's have a little look what you guys come out with. And then what we'll do is we'll have a little look at what the difference is when we start looking at a past participle clause. I would say past participle clauses, if you understand the present participle clause, I think you will understand the past participle clause. So Stefano has come out with knowing he loved her, she told him to invite her out for a date. Really close. She told her, she told him to invite her out on a date. That's the only difference there. It's a small little preposition, but that's a fantastic sentence. Stefano, bravo, well done, excellent. Leondina, knowing he loved her, she told him her feelings. Oh, very good. So you can see how you can develop a story or telling a story using this type of language. It really helps you to explain a story. Sandra says, knowing he loved her, she told him that she loved him too. Well, that's lovely. That's a lovely story. Excellent. Brilliant. So, guys, you can see why this can be really good. It's very good at explaining stories. And funnily enough, you've got this present participle clause, and we use it to actually tell past events, really. And this is excellent for storytelling, and this is why we use it a lot in writing. So now let's look at the past participle clause and what happens here. So let's go with this, okay? Alejandra, knowing he loved her, she told him that she loved to other person. Oh, so close. She told him that she this was, don't forget, it needs to be the she told him that she loved another person. So you need to decide here. She told him, yes, there we go. So knowing he loved her, she told him that she loves another person. Yes, you could, another person. She told him that she loved, actually, you could go with loved another person as well, or loves. In this case, given the context of what I think is happening in this story, knowing he loved her, she told him that she loves another person. You could go with loves, actually, especially if you're telling a certain type of story, that could still work. But yeah, you would need to make that decision between loves and loved, depending on what you're going for. Loved another, but it has to be another person. Oh, poor guy. Yeah. Although I would say, having said that, told him that she loved another person. Because this is technically still the past simple, it's probably still best, Alejandra, to stick with loved. Go with the past simple all the way through. So told him that she loved another person. That would actually still be the better answer, grammatically speaking. So let's go with that. Loved. She loved another person. Another person. But really good sentence, Alejandra. So really well done. Now, this next one, what am I going to be talking about? Let's look at the past participle clause, which can be, well, I think you'll be able to see. So let's say, to give the reason for an action, such as worried by the news, she called the hospital. Worried for her husband, she rang the police. Lost in the woods, she used her compass, for example. So what are we doing? We're starting the sentence here with the past participle. You got past participle, okay, participle, plus reason, comma, plus past action taken, okay, which would be in a past simple. So that's what we're looking for here. Now, we don't have a huge amount of time. So the other thing that we can do here is you can also use it to add information. But for now, let's just talk about action, because we're going to run out of time otherwise. So let's see if you guys can complete this. Let's go with... So you've got to think of the past participle of shock, like surprised. It is a regular verb, and then you need to think of the past of fall. Don't get confused with feel. Fall. So let's see if you guys can get that. Now, like I said, guys, here this is the past participle clause. You're starting with a past participle, so your past verb, third form. Don't forget, just like in the present participle clause, the second part of your sentence here, we're writing this in a past simple. And in this case, this is a past simple active. So shocking, fallen. Oh, okay, you're quite close, Alejandro, but not quite. So the difference here is that instead of starting the sentence with shocking, that would be if it were a present participle. But because this is now the past participle clause, we need to change it to shocked. And the second one needs to be fell, because this is, don't forget, you've got fall, fell, fallen. We could only use fallen if it's the passive, if it's a past simple passive, but this is just an active past simple. So that's why it has to be fell. Okay, Leodina, you are correct. Let's go again. Let's go again. Okay, let's try this one. Surprise. So we need to think of the past of surprise. Remember, we need to think of the past participle. So we can't go with surprising. By the results, she to the headmaster. So don't forget, guys, surprise needs to be in the past, in its past participle form. So we're looking at the third form of the ending. It is a regular verb. And then we need to think of complain. And don't forget, this is a past simple, because this is now the past participle clause. So Leondina, surprised by the results, she complained to the headmaster. Sandra with the same answer. Alejandro with the same answer. Brilliant. Well done. Let's see if we can finish off now with this activity. Okay, so for instance, worried by the news, he called the police. So just like before, I'm now going to give you just little bits of the sentence, and you need to try and complete it. So let's go. Can I say she did complain? Oh, surprised by the results, she did complain. Yeah, you could always change it to that. You could always change the rest of the sentence to that. Let's see what you guys come up with. Excite, holiday, he, go, and buy. Let's see what you guys create. So you've got excite. So here you need to think of what happens when you turn excite into the past participle form. And yeah. You've got holiday, go. So you need to think of the past of go, and you need to think of the past of buy. Don't forget, you've got to follow this structure: past participle clause. Don't forget the comma, plus past simple. So you need to follow that structure. Let's see what you guys come out. Ooh, Alejandra, excited by holiday, he went to buy something. Okay, so excited by holiday, you're really close. Excited by, we need something in between buy and holiday. Let's say excited by his holiday, excited by the holiday, for example. You just need a comma. He went to buy something. So you're really, really close, Alejandro. Really well done. Leondina says, excited for the holiday, he went to buy a cruise ticket. Okay. The only thing is, I would say instead of for, buy. Excited by the holiday, he went to buy a cruise ticket. Stefano says, excited by her upcoming holidays. By her upcoming holidays, she immediately went to buy a ticket to Bahia. Bahia. I'm not sure how to say that place, actually. Bahia. Bahia. No, I don't know how to say that place. But it's a really good sentence, though, Stefano. No, I'm not going to be able to find out how to pronounce that particular place name. So Alejandro says, excited by the weather. Holiday, he went to buy new clothes. Excited by the weather. Ooh, on his holiday, he went to buy new clothes. So you're really close there, Alejandro. Very, very close. I'll just put in what you're missing. Excited by the weather on his holiday, and then comma, he went to buy new clothes. Then that would have been a perfect sentence, Alejandro. So you're really close. So guys, thank you so much for joining the live lesson today. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Look, participle clauses, present participle clauses. Oh, Bahia is situated in Brazil. I'm going to have to look it up, Stefano. Past participle clauses, present participle clauses can be difficult, and they can be difficult to create. You've all done really, really well today. And yeah, I think considering how difficult this grammar point can be, and I know we have people of different levels, some strong, some weak. Well, I think we've got a mixture of pre-intermediates and intermediates and up intermediates. I mean, look, if you're pre-intermediate, and so for those of you who are pre-intermediate, really well done. This is not easy stuff. If you're upper intermediate, well done, because it's also not easy stuff. So I'd like to congratulate all of you. So really well done to all of you. You have done a fantastic job today. Fantastic job. This is not an easy grammar point. I myself misread one or two things, so I apologize for misreading one or two things. Having said that, I think by the end, it seems that all of you who have participated in the live chat section did a really, really good job in looking to understand this and add it to your written vocabulary. I would say, guys, practice afterwards, write in your dictionary or write in your diaries. Really try and practice what we've looked at today. because the best way we can do to learn after a lesson like this is to write your own examples. Write as many examples as possible. And for those of you who are watching but might not have commented in the live chat, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining the lesson today. Tomorrow, a little bit different. Tomorrow we're going to look at too much, too many, and not enough. But we'll change it according to different levels as well. So we'll look to how we can include people of different levels. You're welcome, Leondina. You're welcome, Stefano. You're welcome, Irena. Thank you very much. I will be back tomorrow, guys, 4 o'clock, same time, with another live English lesson. Enjoy the rest of the day. Sandra says, excited by his holiday, he went to the next travel agency and bought flight tickets to Thailand. You're so close. He bought, I would say just bought tickets to Thailand. I don't think you really need fly. If you were to put anything, he bought flight tickets. You could say flight tickets maybe, but it's an unnecessary extra word. You can just say travel agency and bought tickets to Thailand. You don't need the fly. But that's a good sentence otherwise, Sandra. So guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you guys tomorrow, and take care. I'll be back tomorrow 4 o'clock. Thank you for all of you who've participated and watching and liked and shared. Make sure you share the channel with friends who you know would be interested in learning English. Have a nice afternoon. Bye for now.